Gaming on a laptop is painful. So if you guys haven't noticed on my last bunch of videos, the gameplay footage I used was from games that could basically run on potatoes. There's a good reason for this. I've been gaming on this thing, and good God has it been painful. I mean guys, come on. I used Shovel Knight for fucking gameplay footage. Fucking Shovel Knight. Not that there's anything wrong with Shovel Knight. I mean, it was kind of fun for the 30 minutes or so that I played it, but still. I have this thing where I like to vary the gameplay I use in my videos, and the day I was making the PC Gaming Rant video, I literally scoured the entire fucking internet to try and, of course, legally download a game that my computer could run at 1080p, just so that my video wouldn't look like an upscaled piece of shit. I spent hours and hours, but then I eventually gave up and downloaded Shovel Knight. Now you may be asking, Rejected, how come you didn't game on your desktop? Well, that's because I couldn't bring my desktop with me to college since it was too much to carry. I basically had to wait for my parents to send it to me, and it took them around 2 months to get to that. But they finally did. And when I got my desktop, almost to no surprise, the case was busted up because of how it was handled, and I had to order a new one off Amazon. I get my new case and put everything that was in the old case into that one, which took a couple hours. Turned it on, and again, something was fucking damaged. The power supply! So I have to order a new power supply off Amazon. I get that power supply, rewire everything in my desktop again. This time, the PC's up and running and everything seems fine. But nope, I get locked out of my Steam account because I'm signing in from a different computer, and Steam said that I'd have to get a code from the Steam Guard mobile authenticator, which is basically when they send the code to your phone. But guess what? My Steam account was registered to a broken phone. So I sent Steam a support request, and it takes them more than 2 fucking days to respond. Do you know how annoying it is when you have to prove something that's already true? After all that waiting, I had to wait even more, even though my desktop was working and everything. So basically, I'd been sitting around like a fucking egg for over 2 months, just waiting for the chance to game on an actual proper gaming PC. And it took a while. It took a really long while. And it also did take over $100 worth in repairs, but I can finally game on my desktop again. Thank the Lord. But yeah, that was a huge fucking tangent. Basically, over that 2-month period, I've had to game on my laptop. And to be honest guys, my laptop isn't some slouch. It cost me a pretty penny. At the store that I bought it at, it cost me 3,500 Saudi Riyals, which converts to approximately $930. However, I have to mention that when I tried to cross-reference this price on different websites like Amazon, I couldn't find the exact same model of my laptop, which leads me to assume that the version I have is exclusive to the Middle Eastern and Northern African region of the world. Because of that, I really can't tell how much this thing would cost in the US or any other Western country. If I really had to guess though, I would probably say that it would cost between $50 cheaper or $50 greater than what I bought it for. There's a whole lot of things that affect prices in different regions, so yeah, I really can't tell, but that is how much I paid for it. And I swear to you, I could barely play any modern game at 1080p 60 FPS with low settings, let alone medium. Besides CSGO, Left 4 Dead 2, and Shovel Knight, I couldn't play any other game at 1080p with great settings. Technically, Shovel Knight didn't have any settings besides resolution, but you know what I mean. It always had to be at 720p or 768p, or in the case of Mirror's Edge, 900p with very meh settings. And granted, playing at those resolutions isn't all bad since the size of a laptop screen is much smaller than a traditional monitor's, but dude, the frame rates, the graphics. I know I sound like a PC elitist when I say this, but it was so hard to look at. And considering how much I paid for this thing, I did feel surprised, but not too much. You see, traditionally, laptops have had their own laptop versions of CPUs and GPUs, so an i7 in my laptop is definitely not on par with a modern i7 in a desktop. And I think the difference is even more pronounced with GPUs, to be honest. Quite a few people think that a GTX 970M is the same thing as a GTX 970, but that is very far from the truth. It all goes down to the fact that laptops have completely different form factors than desktops. Laptops are mobile, desktops aren't. Laptops have to be small and compact computers, desktops aren't. Laptops run on batteries, and you see where I'm going with this. The form factor of a laptop adds a lot of constraints. You have to worry about fitting everything in, the power consumption, the heat output. Even beyond that, manufacturers have to think about adding displays and keyboards to their laptops, all in a really small form factor. So you can see how laptops generally can't reach the performance of a desktop, and how their prices are way more expensive than what you would pay for a traditional desktop gaming PC. It's a really big trade-off, although I do have to give credit to Nvidia where credit is due. Since the latest 10 series series of desktop graphics cards are in laptops now. No M bullshit. Nvidia said that these new laptop 10 series GPUs are only within 10% of their desktop counterparts. But the price is still way ahead of what you would pay for a desktop of the same, if not better performance. A lot of people think, oh, but you also have to buy a monitor and a keyboard and a mouse if you game on a desktop. Yeah, you do, but even then it's still less expensive. The thing about gaming, specifically on a desktop PC, is that you have a ton of options for a ton of budgets. Granted, different countries have sometimes greatly differing prices, which I'll talk about in another video, but the range is still there. You don't have to buy a Razer billion colored keyboard at first, and you definitely don't have to buy a 144Hz BenQ monitor as your first monitor. And that's why most of the time, to people who want to start gaming on PC, I'd recommend that they get a custom built one, because unless you really are a quote-unquote on-the-go gamer, which I think most people aren't, or you're someone who travels a lot, I don't think you need an explicit gaming laptop. You just aren't gonna get what you're paying for. I added up the price of all my PC parts on Amazon, and it says that my desktop is worth a total of $740. And that's not even cost effective, since the newer generation of computer parts, particularly GPUs, offer very similar performance, and in some cases even much better performance than what my computer can output. For the sake of argument, let's compare my desktop to my laptop. My laptop is an Asus K501. It has 12 gigs of DDR3 RAM, an i7-6500U, and a GTX 950M. My custom PC has 8 gigs of DDR3 RAM, an i5-4460, and a GTX 970. And the difference, as you could have guessed, is massive. There are much better visuals and performance on my desktop. You know, let's look at Tomb Raider at 1080p at high settings on my laptop. Let's see how that shit looks like. Do you see this? Do you see this fucking slideshow? Enough of that. Let's switch over to my desktop at the exact same settings. Oh shit, yeah. Oh my god, that's some nice looking 60 FPS footage we got right there. Oh, Lara. Oh my god. So smooth. The results speak for themselves, guys. Come on. You don't have to spend $800 or $900 to get a desktop that's more powerful than my laptop. Hell, you could get away with spending $600 or even $500 and still get a system that's much more powerful and much cheaper than my laptop. Even if you were to include the price of a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse, again, it would still be cheaper. There's just no argument there. It's a matter of fact. Gotta get back down to the Zen mode level. Got a little heated there. I'm chill, boy. But yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. I like my laptop, and it does pretty much everything I needed to as a college student. I'm actually very pleased with it in that sense. It's also leagues ahead of my older laptop, but when it comes to gaming, it's just a whole nother story. Anyways, that is the end of the video. Sorry for not uploading last week, by the way, guys. Shit got in the way. As you know, life is how life is, but, you know, should be back to that regular weekly upload from now on for the foreseeable future. Also, just wanted to thank my parents for getting me my laptop, because they didn't really have to. It was pretty expensive, and I appreciate you guys very much. Love you, mom. Love you, dad. Bye.
Nigga, I done went Super Saiyan 3. Fuck what you was saying, moving through the wave and you recuperating. You just plain and stupid playing me. You just made a fool of you and fooling if you coolin', bitch. I'm spewing straight heat. This is AK. Bet my bass bang, bet my 8 bay. I'm the ninth wonder of the weather. This a Mayday. Nice as fuck. Bite the dust when I spit they like hyphen, bruh. Line them up, shoot them down. It's crew love with my crew.